Welcome to another day in the Matrix, waters above crypto. I hope everyone had an incredible weekend. Sending you all love and high vibrations to start off this week. In today's video, I'm going to start off with a Gematria decode to share why I was anticipating a final dip for the cryptocurrency market before continuation to new all-time highs by the end of this month. And of course, go over the charts of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP to see where our support levels are for any incoming short-term bearish price action leading into this month's full moon. So if you're new here, we do cryptocurrency technical analysis and combine it with Gematria, Numerology, and Astrology to understand these markets. Feel free to subscribe and turn on the bell notification to stay updated on when new videos come out. And make sure to give this video a like and share this channel with other conscious beings to help grow this community. And for those of you that want to learn how to do technical analysis and combine it with Gematria, you can join my Mastermind course. The link to my website can be found in the description box of this video and in the pinned comment below for access to the Mastermind course. And with that being said, let's take the red pill. We're going to start this one out with some date numerology and go from there. So in the past 3 or 4 videos, I've actually warned about a final pullback before the end of this month with emphasis on tomorrow until the day of the full moon, which is on the 19th of November. It's coming up very soon. And this lunar cycle has been playing such a key role in all of my analysis that I've been doing over the last half a year. So if you're new here and you haven't seen how the lunar cycles have influenced this market, just know that any new moon gives a bullish price action, typically within a 5-day window before or after the new moon, and the opposite for the full moons, meaning that 5 days before or 5 days after a full moon, we typically see bearish price action in the market. Now, what we've been seeing lately is that the lows, the low prices that we get are a couple of days before the full moon. So this is where today's decode is going to be very critical. It's definitely something you want to pay attention to. And if you are completely new here and this is the first time seeing my channel, go back and watch the last 3 or 4 videos because it's going to give you a lot of information as to why I was able to determine any short-term bearish price action before continuation. And that's exactly what we've been seeing in the charts. So one of the key things to consider is the date of the 17th, and the reason for this is because we have a couple connections here, one of which being the 44 days left in the year, and this master number is very, very important. So 44 days left in the year, and the date numerology is 69 when you add up the dates as 11 plus 17 plus 20 plus 21, and this 69 connection comes back to Saturn with the 69, and 69 is essentially balance. It's the yin-yang. So it's very important to remember that. And with this 44 days in the left in the year, you're going to see the number 44 show up a couple more times in this decode. Just like in my last couple of decodes, you were seeing a lot of 66s. And that's why this time of the cycle, the cryptocurrency cycle, is very volatile. It's shaking a lot of people out. It's very squeeze-like it's trapping longs, trapping shorts, getting people caught up in bull and bear traps, and it's confusing people. So this is going to give you a lot of understanding as to what's happening. And this day in particular is something that I'm paying a lot of attention to, but I have also some feelings about tomorrow as well, and I'll share that when we get into the actual technical analysis. So the other important day is the following day, which is the 18th. And this is so important because it's the 322nd day of the year. And this 322 number comes back to these guys, Skull and Bones, 322. If you've never heard of them, definitely do your research. Some of our presidents are Skull and Bones members of Yale Secret Society. So just one pretty interesting thing here is these guys have a nickname of the Brotherhood of Death. So let's play around with this. And you're going to see something pretty interesting here, which is the 347. And that 347 is the 69th prime number. Okay, so the date numerology of the 17th of November coming to 69 when you add it up the way that I like to do my date numerology. Then the following day being the 322nd day of the year, coming back to Skull and Bones with their logo, 322. And their nickname, the Brotherhood of Death, giving us the 347 in the reverse ordinal cipher, which is the 69th prime number. Again, balance, yin-yang, black and white. Yakin and Boaz. It's all about that balance of duality, and that's the game that we're stuck in. as the masses, or what they call the profane. Of course, again, we also have this 220 in numerology, remove the 0, that's the 22, but let's keep going on this decode. So that was one really interesting thing that I saw, but also Order 322, they actually call themselves the Order as well. So Order 322, let's see what else we're getting here. So this is very crucial because Order 322 is giving us 27 in Chaldean, and that 27 comes back to Jupiter. And this day of the 322nd day of the year is on a Thursday, and Thursday is Thor's Day, or the day of Jupiter, okay? Another very important thing to remember is that it is 72 days between Rosh Hashanah, the start of the Hebrew New Year, which was the start of Shemitah, okay? So this 72 is obviously the mirror of 27. So we have Order 322 with the 27 connected to Jupiter, and this 322nd day of the year being on a Thursday, which is the day of Jupiter, and being 72 days between the start of Rosh Hashanah, one of the most important days over the next year, okay? So this is incredible how this all ties together. And another thing that's very important is this would be leaving 43 days left in the year. And I'm going to show you where this 43 number becomes very important. So for one, the 72 connection comes back to Bitcoin with 72, okay? But another thing we have is Bitcoin BTC, which is the name of the crypto and its ticker symbol, giving us 43 in the full reduction cipher. Again, 43 being the 14th prime number. But anyways, this 43 connection coming back to 43 days left in the year on Skull and Bones Day. Okay? This is very important because this is the day before the full moon. This is one of the final the final bearish moments of a bull run for cryptocurrency. So we need to pay attention, especially if you're late to the game. If you don't have a lot of money invested in this market and you're someone who's just catching on because of the popularity of this sector, you want to be paying attention because this might be one of the final moments to accumulate before new all-time highs. And what we see around Hanukkah, which is later in this month, moving into the new moon of January, is an absolute just uptick in market cap for cryptocurrency. And that's happened in multiple cycles, and it's also happened in the tech sector over 20 years ago during the dot-com bubble. And that's something I've exposed in my work before, how the Amazon charts during Shemitah of 2007 and Shemitah of 2001, when we had the dot-com bubble, have played out almost identical to the cycle that we're seeing with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency today. They essentially are just handing off the baton from one asset class to another asset class. And people need to wake up to this because these little cheat codes are going to help people so much, so they don't need to spend their time looking at the news or Twitter or what's going on. None of that matters. This entire market is running on Gematria Numerology and Astrology, and I've proved that time and time again in this work. So huge connections here with this 43 number. And because we were talking about 44, like the 17th being the 44 days left in the year, let's give a couple more 44 connections. So the upcoming full moon is called the frost moon, but some people actually call it the beaver moon. And that beaver moon giving us the 44. Okay, another name for this full moon would be called the snow moon. Okay, and that gives us the 44. So this is amazing how we're seeing these numbers come into play on our following full moon. And you could see this right here, November 19, 2021, frost moon, official name. You could see it goes by some other names, frosty moon, beaver moon, and snow moon. So beaver moon is what could also be considered the second most popular name. Some people just call it the beaver moon, but it doesn't matter because this is what's also amazing. It says the frost moon features a partial lunar eclipse peaking at 4:04 a.m. Eastern time. Remember, in the rules of numerology, you're removing the zeros, so we're getting back to that 44. 44. 44. 44 days left in the year, 3 days before this event. It's a joke. It's a joke. Okay? It's amazing how this all works, too, by the code, because 3 days is 72 hours, okay? Remember, that's 72, coming back to Bitcoin, 72. And we were playing around with it with the actual day after the full moon, gives us the 72 date numerology. And the day before the full moon is 72 days between Rosh Hashanah. This is amazing, guys. Amazing connections. So another thing to consider here is this following day, the day of the actual full moon, gives us 42 days left in the year. And anyone who's been following my work for some length of time, you know that the 42 and the 24 are extremely important in my work. I talk about these numbers all the time. So with this 42 days left in the year, just some quick connections. We have one of the most common ones that I don't really talk about too much, but blockchain, giving us the 42 in the full reduction cipher. So blockchain, this is what the future is. Okay, and people think this is good. People think this is liberating, but it's literally in the word. Blockchain. I don't know about you, but I don't want to wear any chains. You guys think this crypto shit's good for us? No. The only thing it has right now that is good for you, quote unquote, I'm using air quotes when I say good, is making money. But outside of that, this is the slave system, the quantum system they're moving in. This shit isn't for us. It's for the machines. It's all in the words, guys. Don't get caught up in it. Like all this stuff with Meta, gotta wake up. Gotta wake up. So another big connection here with the 42 would be Satoshi Nakamoto, all right, with the 181. The 181 giving us the 42nd prime number. And there's so many. You could go all day. Satoshi being the 24, the mirror of 42. Saturn giving us the 42. Of course, Jesuit in the same cipher giving us the 42. One of the helpers of this New World Order system and the trinity between the Vatican, Washington, D.C., and the city of London. That trifecta right there, that pyramid system, is what controls money on a global scale. Money always comes back to the moon because anything that starts with the prefix MON, again, you see 42 right there, MON is moon. Like Solomon is Sol, O, moon, sun and moon, okay? MON comes back to money, okay? Money gives us the 72, like Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is the new money. That is how they design this world, implementing this as the collateral layer of our economy for the rest of time. I'm not saying that they're going to use Bitcoin for transactions. There's a difference between currency and money. Go study what the difference is, and you'll see exactly what I mean. Okay, so there's something massive going on here, and this final moment is critical that we pay attention to it. So let's move on to our technical analysis. Again, I've been discussing how we should anticipate a pullback, final pullback before the end of this run, and it looks like today we're getting some pressure in the market. DXY is up a little bit, but the yield is definitely rising. I don't want to get too much into that because I want to focus on crypto today. But what we're seeing is we've actually started to form a beautiful support around these mid $60,000 level. This one spot fib extension is sitting at the prior all-time high. Again, the prior all-time high was on the 14th of April, the 144 date numerology, and I've been bringing up this 144 quite a bit lately. So anyways, just a side note, what we're seeing right now is a little bit of pressure, and this 21 exponential moving average on the daily is something that has been a beautiful support level time and time again, and that's a technical level that as an analyst we always look for on our daily closes. So really quickly, let's just recap what the weekly close was like, because that was yesterday. You can see we are far extended above our moving averages. We have the 8 simple moving average just catching up to around 60,000, and this was something that I gave a call out for. I don't really see Bitcoin spending much time below 60K for the rest of this bull run. I think this is pretty much the last opportunity we get. And as we transition through this week, which is the 46th week of the year, and get closer to the day of November 20th or November 21st, I think we're going to start to see a reversal happen. And as we transition through that bearish energy of the full moon, which we might get earlier, as we're seeing today, that's going to put us basically in a parabolic straight line. So the breakout is going to look something like this, where it's just up in a straight line. Okay, and this is very normal. Bitcoin does this to end every bull run. It has what's called a blow off top, and this will lead to an alt season. So our main key support level, if we wanted to look at this on a macro time frame, would actually be the 888 fib, which is sitting around $60,800, which is right in line with that 8 simple moving average on the weekly chart. Again, that's very important to take note of. And our weekly MACD is looking beautiful. So there's really nothing bearish about this on larger time frames. 3-day MACD, it's looking great, curving a little bit to the downside, but for the most part, this is just par for the course for this stage of the bull run. Back tests of the 8 simple moving average on the 3-day, Very normal. I would suspect because this 13 exponential moving average on the 3-day is sitting around the 888 fib, again, that's confluent with what I just said about the weekly chart analysis. So let's look at the 2-day. The 2-day, again, look at the 21 exponential moving average sitting around the 888 fib. Again, a very key level for retests. So because this 888 fib has been a battle zone for pretty much the last month, I don't see it spending much time lower than that. And if we were to analyze this on a daily chart, we're going to see that the lows in the structure are sitting around October 28th, right around 57,500. And because this 34 moving average now is above that, I suspect that we might not retest lower lows than this wick right here, which was on November 1st, sitting around 59,500. So 59,500 might get a little wick flash and then bounce back up. And then for a clean double bottom scenario, it would just be a retest of the 57,500 area. That would be a gift. Like, honestly, if Bitcoin was going to come down that low, that would be a gift. And with this 55 simple moving average getting above the golden pocket, that's solidifying my feelings that we're probably never going to go below $57,000 for the rest of this bull run. Any dips that we get between now and like the 21st of November, it's just a buying opportunity. And this sort of bearish price action is definitely going to put a lot of pressure on the altcoins. So that's what most people are interested in. But for the downside targets, I'm looking for the 888 and the 34, and I've shown you on all the macro time frames, this region right here of around 60,000, let's just call it 60k, is pretty much the last low level that we should anticipate before continuation onto new highs. So let's get to Ethereum. Ethereum's been looking incredible lately, like literally nothing bad to say. The one thing that's going on with ETH that could be something to take into consideration, if I turn off my indicators and we just look at this parallel channel, we can see that there is a little bit of pressure testing the downside of this parallel channel, and it's been clean. On the upside, it's been clean, which is the resistance, and on the down, the support level, it's been very clean as well. So if we break through these levels, I would be looking for our exponential moving averages to give me a little bit of a story. And you can see that this 34 exponential is... it's really making its way up there. It would basically be back testing the prior trading range over here, which was around 44,100. Let's just call it 4,200. That's very crazy to see ETH holding this strong at this stage of the run. Typically, when Bitcoin's pulling back 2% during this stage of the bull run, we would see like 5% pullback with ETH, and it's just really incredible how strong this has been. So one thing I could say for an extreme flash to the downside would be keep an eye on this 55 simple moving average, which is around 3,900. I don't see ETH going below that. At this point, I don't even think ETH will retest lower than 4,000 again. It's just, we're kind of past it at this point. What I think is going on here, everyone, the reason why ETH is so strong is because this has been priced out of retail. Retail are no longer interested in Ethereum because of gas fees and because of all the shiny objects going on in the background, which is something I predicted would happen. And it's a big reason why I'm very bullish on Ethereum in the next bull run, because I see Ethereum essentially fully pricing out retail investors, just like Bitcoin has been priced out of retail investors. The only thing that's giving Bitcoin any volatility at this point, besides the whales, is leverage trading. So if leverage trading got taken away from the retail investor, Bitcoin would actually be the best investment to have, because it would be well, it's scarce, so it's always going up. And the fact that it's always going up and it's diminishing its losses, that's absolutely incredible. From an investment thesis, you can't get much better than that. You essentially park some money in Bitcoin, you wait 4 to 5 years, and you're in profit. That doesn't exist in many places. So with ETH, it's becoming mature. That's everything I was just saying kind of just adds up to this. It's becoming a very mature asset, and it's losing its downside price action because the retail investor is leaving it. And the less retail involved in a coin, the better it is for you to hold. I know that sounds kind of counterintuitive, because the coins that have these crazy ROI potential, sure, they are mostly being traded by retail investors. Shit coins, you could call them. But then look at the downside pressure they have. Look at the chart structure. If you look at something like this, what's going on with Ethereum, the chart structure is a lot more solid. You look at something like Shiba Inu, and it's just like, what the fuck am I looking? It's just pump and dump. This thing, sure, it did a great move recently, but it's 37% off the lows, and it dipped as low as 50% in like less than 2 trading weeks. That's not healthy. This is a bunch of idiots trading this coin around. Okay, so this coin might go away forever in the year of 2022. It might get liquidated to zero. And I'm not saying that because I want it to happen. I'm just letting you know that's what people didn't talk about in 2017, 2018, and it happened. And it happened with projects that actually had a technology behind them, unlike this coin. Okay, so no offense to the Shiba army or whatever the fuck cult this coin has created, but I'm just letting you know the facts. Okay, so this is where people really grow as an investor. The difference between being a gambler and an investor is looking for something that has a long-term opportunity to park your cash in so you feel confident in it and you could go to sleep at night. You know, sure, you could put some money in a venture capital play and do very well, but then it might drain 50% of its value in a couple days and you might panic sell. So if you have the stomach to hold these very volatile plays, then congratulations, you know, you're a wolf. But should you be putting a lot of money into these very experimental cryptocurrencies that might not even make it for more than 3 years? That's something you might want to ask yourself. So with Ethereum, I'm definitely seeing this retest of the prior all-time high around 4,300. That's in the cards. And this 34 exponential moving average on the daily would be a normal level to pull back to because it's an altcoin. So unlike Bitcoin has the 21 as its main pullback area for daily closes, the altcoins can close on the 34 and give a very similar effect. Again, I'm not talking about wicks. I'm talking about daily closes, okay? So something to keep in mind. Let's move on to XRP. So XRP, multiple daily closes below this 8 simple moving average. That's definitely something problematic. Let's go to the weekly and just see how that turned out. So the weekly chart is looking pretty solid, actually. The 8 above the 13, 21, 34, 55, and the 200s are in bearish posture. So this is very nice. It's essentially in a downtrend, but a longer term uptrend. So the point of all of that is this is not an unhealthy weekly close we just had. It's okay. Now, from a 3-day perspective, we're also looking pretty good. We're trading above the 8 simple moving average. That's very good. It's our shortest term moving average. So when we're trading above it, that's a good sign. Let's look at our MACD and see if we get... So MACD on the 2-day is definitely squeezing up. It's okay, though. I think overall, this is just another final pullback before continuation. And the lowest I see this going at this time would be like $1.08. I would look for the 2-day 55 simple moving average for any pullbacks on XRP at this time, and they could flash down very fast. Like, I mean, it could flash down to $1.08, lose 10 cents worth of value. So that would be like a 9% flash. It could lose that in 1 hour, and then the next hour be bought back up. We saw it happen right here. We saw it happen right here. It happens all the time. This is a very choppy coin at this stage of the bull run because it's just squeezing people out and boring people out before it has a parabolic move into the month of December. So on the 2-day, looking pretty good. On the daily chart, again, the 55 simple sitting around like $1.09. That whole level above the 382 fib is all buying territory. I don't know if we'll get lucky enough to see anything near $1. But again, between $1.06 and $1 flat is just splitting hairs. It's all more alike than it is different. But I do like to see how we've had continuous higher lows. That structure is very nice. So if we got a final pullback to the 382, again, that would be another higher low. And then once we're starting to break like $1.35, $1.40 again, this thing's off to the races. It's just going to move in a straight line. So upside target, definitely still battling with that $1.40. That doesn't surprise me because XRP comes back to 14 and Gematria, and it also comes back to 15. $1.50 is a huge level for XRP. And then on the downside, I mean, I don't see it going below this wick right here, which is 94 cents. That would be a very dramatic flash to the downside. I ultimately think we're just going to hold the 382 at this time. Probably like $1.09. $1.09, $1.08 would be a really beautiful level to pick up some more XRP before a final parabolic advance to the upside. So I'm going to leave it at that. I do think we have a couple days to go. Let it play out again. Typically, we can see bearish price action 5 days before a full moon up to 5 days after. Right now, we're about 4 days away from the full moon, and this full moon is an eclipse. So my next video that I come out with, I'll be discussing eclipses more and kind of decoding them because on December 4th, we have an eclipse, and that's the day where I'm anticipating Bitcoin to hit its all-time high. So, or its final all-time high before the end of the bull run. Let me clarify what I just said there. So it's great to see Bitcoin a little bit under pressure right now. We'll have to see how it affects the altcoins over the next couple of days. Remember, it only takes Bitcoin to have like a 3% flash crash for some of these altcoins to have 10%. So, of course, I'm not using the word crash to scare anyone. I'm just letting anyone know any red that we're getting in this market is a buying opportunity. This isn't financial advice. This is just the last minutes before things get really crazy. And I just want everyone to be prepared for that. So again, anyone who's interested in more exclusive content, I have a Patreon, patreon.com/watersabove. Actually just filmed my last red pill episode and posted it yesterday. We talked about a bunch of coins. Some coins definitely looked like opportunities, so that was a really fun episode to do. And then I also have my new website, watersabovecrypto.com, where you could purchase any of my courses, and it's my official website to kind of separate all the madness that's going on in this world where people are copying my account, creating fake Patreons, all that craziness. So you'll have an official website, and those are the only two websites that I'm using besides my merch website. So I have patreon.com/watersabove, watersabovecrypto.com, and then my merch website is watersabove.shop. So anyways, enjoy the rest of your day in the Matrix. Much love.